Nerds at the Cool Table, episode 28.
Oh,
Hey.
Fellas, it's 2019.
We're almost in our 30s.
Yes.
Wait.
We're almost in our 30s.
Hate him.
Wait, you guys aren't 30 yet?
No, we are. He's talking about the
Talking about the show.
Oh.
He's talking about
I was like, wait a minute.
last year episode
28th anniversary?
We're almost in our 30s. How's that dumb?
I'm not mad at it.
Never mind, never
That's
mind.
cool, B.
Welcome back, listeners. And you can't just find us near a radio anymore. Now you can actually watch us on YouTube.
Who was listening to us on radio? That's impressive.
I don't listen to the radio anymore.
We do
man.
nice fireside chats
Yeah.
every other week.
Now we are here.
Yes.
Yeah, we're actually
Live.
Yeah.
Not live.
I really hope this records the entire episode because I'm going to be real mad.
It will.
It will.
Positive thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's not start.
How's it going, guys?
What's up?
Man,
Wonderful.
yeah, just hanging out. It's good to be back here. We have a lot to cover. Just so much.
How was you guys' New Year?
It was a yeah,
All
it was
right,
cool.
Julian. you seem like you're not ready to talk about this on camera.
It
You
was.
could text me how your New Year was.
Yeah.
I mean, we were together. So
Yeah, I saw you guys were in Vegas.
Yeah, we were
How was
Vegas.
that?
It was Vegas.
It was Vegas.
I've never done Vegas for New Year's. I
That
hear
was my
like-
first time.
That was my
Too?
second time. This was definitely a better time.
That was my first time, and this was incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
That's
Because we
incredible.
did it right. We avoided all the tomfoolery and all the horseplay.
So you stayed in the casinos.
No.
No,
I
we
was about to
definitely
say no. We
didn't.
did not avoid any time.
No. I'm talking about we definitely participated in the tomfoolery, but we avoided the Vegasness.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
true.
How do you
kinda-
avoid the Vegasness in Vegas?
Be with the right people.
Exactly.
No, I mean I get that, but like
you're around the right people.
You're the
You
right
go to
people.
the right place.
well, here's the thing about Vegas that I realize is that like you're in Vegas and everybody's sort of in their own little world. Like there's people dressed to the nines on one end and there's people dressed in like shorts and sandals on another.
Well,
And
it was
it's like-
freezing.
right.
So that's one thing. But there are, just like LA, just like New York, just like everywhere, there's a bunch of Vegases that live on top
Mhm.
of each
Yeah,
other.
true.
And it's almost like parallel universes, as one of the movies we're about to talk
Yeah.
about. But you exist in whichever one you're a part of. And we
Mhm.
were lucky
Yeah.
enough to stay in the hotels where we were doing most of the things we were doing.
Right.
So there wasn't a lot of commuting, and we enjoyed it. It was
That's
a
good.
fun trip.
That's good.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's awesome.
What did you do, David?
I stayed in Santa Barbara. It was I stayed with family in Santa Barbara, so it was really chill. I really didn't do much this year. There's other years where I've done some really wild shit, but this year I just
This
decided
wasn't
not to.
one of them.
This wasn't one of them. This wasn't
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah.
One of these years, I'm gonna have a chill. New Year's. I don't think I've had a chill New Year's.
You've tried to have a chill New Year's.
Yeah, we
every
have.
New Year.
Yeah, we have.
And then
Th-
it's never,
This never.
This
stayed
was
chill.
the first. I hadn't had one in a while. Like even last year, I decided to stay home, but there was a party across the street in my neighborhood where they were literally shooting fireworks in the middle of the street, so I could see them right in front of me. So, and at the end of the night, I ended up at the party across the street. So it wasn't as chill as possible. But this actually was a chill one.
Yeah, I ended up getting
New-
sick.
New Year's is one of those holidays where your plans for it are never what it is
Mhm.
in either direction. You
Yep.
can try to be chill and it's going to turn up. You can try to turn up and you're at home alone. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
The b-
never what you. But this was a good one.
The best New Year's I've ever had are the ones that were just house parties. And
Those are
like
always the best.
nobody
Those are
planned
the best.
anything. It was like, oh, we're having a party, and ends up being like the best,
Those
night
and
ever.
like hotel, like cool little hotel parties. That's what, like
Yeah.
I like.
The old
Mhm.
stuff, older functions.
It's a very LA thing, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
New Year's or hotel parties.
Well, just like house parties in general.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for New- yeah.
Yeah. So how about that Surviving R. Kelly? Did you guys see that?
Nope.
We would take way
I'm-
too long.
I'm not gonna deep dive into this,
Expecting
but
that one.
I'm going to say I don't need that much information to know what we've all been dealing with. So
Yeah. You know what's funny? I was okay. So immediately, I'm like,
Fuck R. Kelly.
no, exactly.
we already
Yeah,
know
like,
that he's a
literally.
sleaze.
That's
ball.
that's
Yeah.
the, that's the
We
funny
already
thing to
know.
me.
Wow.
Like, I mean, that R. Kelly sex tape came out when we were in high school, and I remember ever since then, I'm like, oh, R. Kelly's trash, right? Like
Yeah.
he made good music, but then you're like, oh yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
So I always wondered like why
He's not done.
yeah, why he's not done,
You
and
know what
like
brought him back?
what did?
Trapped in the Closet.
Yeah.
It
But he was like a
it
joke. He's always been sort of
But
a
it was
joke
a
since
novelty
then.
of Trapped in the Closet
Yeah.
that made everybody like, yo, this man made all these chapters.
R. Kelly survives by being on this thin line between self-satire
Mhm.
and
Yes.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if he was to ever like fight it, and like really go against all the craziness,
Yeah.
I feel like he would lose. But I think he's very smart in the fact that he like either ignores it
Yeah.
or kind of makes fun of it in a very indirect way.
Well,
but
yeah.
I think this is getting to a point where I love documentaries. I love the internet because I've read that like charges are being reopened and shit's being brought back and like run it.
Yeah.
Someone said it's the remix to Conviction. I appreciate
He
that.
should have been out of here. Like he should have been gone.
Yeah.
Should have been gone.
Yeah.
Tell me where to sign.
Like ages ago. Ages
But
ago.
yeah, I don't want to. This is a nerdy comic show.
Well, here, I was thinking, I'm like, why would I bring that up? First of all, it's a documentary and it's like topical.
Yeah.
But R. Kelly had a
How?
hand in a soundtrack of one of the worst Batman movies ever.
So that was the one. Huh?
Yeah,
that was the way.
that
we
was
got
the one
here.
connection.
That's how we got in this road.
Wait,
Okay, so he had a song in Batman and Robin soundtrack called Gotham City.
really?
Yeah, you don't
City
remember
of Justice.
that?
I didn't know
We all
that.
need it.
Gotham City.
Gotham
Gotham City, yeah.
Oh wait, I kind of remember
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
Right when he said that, I was like, I kind of remember that.
He was like riding in a motorcycle wearing a
Yeah.
cowboy print.
I didn't know
hat.
there was video, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
definitely
I didn't know
that's,
there was video.
Yeah, there was
Wasn't
a
it
video.
like a drummer boy thing? Like the intro
Jeez,
was
I
like
don't
the.
remember.
I'm
I
sorry.
slightly
I'm
remember
like,
that. I saw a funny tweet though. It was like, "Yo, now that we're getting R. Kelly out of here, we our like kids can't sing. That is, the
I Believe I Can
graduation."
Fly.
Yeah, they said we're gonna replace that with Meek Mill's intro.
Oh, dreams and nightmares. Hilarious.
No, I've been saying this for a while, even before this documentary came out, when like it was announced that Space Jam 2 was coming out with LeBron. I was like, they need to get Frank Ocean to do a song for that movie that's so good that makes us forget about I Believe I Can Fly.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, hopefully.
I hope
Wait.
so. Somebody.
They're redoing Free Willy.
Huh?
Was that song on Free? No,
I said
Space,
Space Jam 2.
Tripping. Sorry.
Cut the cameras off. Cut the phone off.
Sorry.
But speaking of Michael
Free
Jackson,
Willy.
no, actually, you know what's funny in the
Hey, that song
documentary?
was hard though for Free Willy. Will you be
Yeah.
there?
In the documentary, I actually had no idea that R. Kelly wrote and produced "You Are Not Alone."
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, like, they explain the origins of "You Are Not Alone" and who it was for, and it just made it even worse. Like,
They were doing that to a bunch of because R. Kelly wrote a few Michael Jackson songs, and they were
Yeah.
like all this.
yeah,
Hidden innuendo.
yeah,
They were just going back through Michael Jackson
Yeah.
songs too. I'm like,
You guys
oh,
know what I
no.
want to do with this? I want to put this in an envelope. I want to close it. And I want to move on.
But for real though, watch this documentary. It's fucking
Or
awful.
don't.
Or don't. If
Or
you
don't.
I'm
Or
choosing-
or just watch
I'm
the
opting out.
Boondocks episode 2 of season 1, and then everything you
Yeah.
need to know
There you go.
is
That's
on
actually
there.
more
That's a
entertaining.
better.
Yeah, it's more entertaining, more
Yeah.
informative. No, I'm kidding. It's a good documentary. I'm glad they put it
And
out.
stop. Never mind. So this week we are going to review Aquaman, which after a very long time has finally come out. Into the Spiderverse, which we're a little bit late on, but I think Jason liked it. And then we're going to run through some news bites. And also we have a fun topic where we're going to talk about our most anticipated films of 2019. What are we
Yes.
looking forward to? We're going to try to keep it less comic-y because y'all know what we're looking
Yeah.
forward to
Yeah.
in that world.
It's like a given.
And
Where
David is going to do his best to keep it under 20.
I mean, my
And
whole list
his
is here.
top
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
I thought that was a list of movies coming out in 2019. But if that's your top 5, so be it. All right, let's get started.
All right, let's jump into Aquaman.
Let's go.
So
All right.
I saw it early. I saw Aquaman thanks to the good folks at YouTube like a week before it came out. And I feel like I was way more excited right when I got out of the theater because it had that like Saturday morning cartoon feel to it. I've come down a little bit, but I haven't changed my mind. I enjoyed the movie. I did kind of lose a little bit of like that juice of like that shit was dope. Like it was fine. It was good. I enjoyed the acting. I enjoyed the storyline. It was very triumphant and very visually.
Very, very good work for that.
It
Yeah.
was very visually just gorgeous. Some stuff was corny, but it comes with the territory.
Mm.
And I think if they're gonna move, see, that's the tricky thing with DC constantly trying to reopen the door to an extended universe is So is everything going to look like this? Or is everything going to look completely different?
Mhm.
Because there are darker properties that can't look like this. And
Yeah.
but this is a great direction, so we kind of want them to stay like somewhere between Wonder Woman and here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that would
Yeah.
be like
Happy medium.
happy medium
Yeah.
for DC. I think our boy, I'm sure you know his name and I don't. The
Jason.
guy.
Oh, yeah.
No, the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who we met at Comic-Con, who was dope. I think he did a great job. I feel like he was in the movie less than I thought he would be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he absolutely killed it. Amber Heard did a good job. Nicole Kidman did a good job. Like, what are you gonna say? Like, they did good. Jason Momoa definitely. He made Aquaman him more than he made himself Aquaman, which I appreciate because that's what you can do with that property.
Yeah.
Like James Wan did a good job of like kind of toning down his like broness.
Momoa-ness.
Yeah, like he actually made him perform, like he made that like the heart that he has, like because he's like a very kind of animated type person and everything that he does. Like he made that energy kind of come out in like a more well-rounded kind of way, I guess, if you could make it, if that makes sense. Yeah, what you said right now about that, how what this does is opens up DC in such a way, and what I liked about it is that it opens it in a way where it helps all the other franchises. So like you can go to Batman, you can do like a Clayface, and it wouldn't be weird. You know what I mean? With the kind of weird like otherworldliness of it. You know what I mean?
But the one thing is, I feel like for a movie that's such a blockbuster that did such a good job of being large, I feel like, again, when I don't want to compare DC to Marvel. That's not something to do. But I feel like they tend to skimp on or glaze over certain details. Like, I feel like
Marvel or DC?
DC.
Okay.
Like, which I feel like Marvel has such a completeness to it, where everything feels like it had the correct amount of TLC.
Yeah.
But with Aquaman, like him younger, like Willem Dafoe training him, like all these things just felt like very like, okay, but just focus on this cool stuff. And like, I want those details to get the love that they deserve, because some of the shit was just like, all right, you could have just cut that out.
Well, the difference has always been that like DC characters are gods and Marvel characters are just regular people with outstanding abilities. And so I feel like that's what the DCU has been trying to do since Man of Steel came out. It was like, all right, we did.
Scale is hard.
Yeah. And it's like, and
That's
that's
fair.
and that's where like the comparisons between Marvel and DC don't work. It's like everybody's trying to compare the two, but like if every DC character is a Thor type character where they're just larger than life, you can't try to compare like, who am I talking, like Ant-Man or something with like Aquaman. You can't compare the two.
But here's the thing. I don't want to skip topics, but like Titans, all the animated properties, like it's possible. They do good jobs. And then for some reason, I'm not saying it doesn't carry over, because Aquaman was good, but it doesn't carry over.
Yeah. What do you think, Julian?
I kind of felt the same way as Yusuf. Like, I was really excited about the movie when I first saw it, but after I thought about it a little bit more, it was a safe movie. It was real safe. It was kind of predictable. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I did not think Nicole Kidman was dead after seeing her the first
not at all.
20 minutes.
Not one bit.
It was
going to the end of the pier.
Yeah, I was like, she's definitely gonna show up again.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
They busted on Ant-Man,
Goes
where like the
without
mom I'm mentioning Ant-Man again, but they did the whole thing where like mom ends up in the weird world. Yeah.
It was like he said, it's a fun movie. It was really gorgeous to watch. Like, it was like James Wan, right?
James Wan. Yeah.
James Wan, like, he really figured out how to like make an underwater world work
Absolutely.
and not look retarded.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the speaking and the hair, all the CGI flowing hair while being able to like,
and the air bubbles.
Exactly.
And,
Like,
all those dynamics.
like that. He made that work perfectly.
I mean, he's setting a standard. Like, there's nothing like this that's been done. I mean, the next thing that's going to be like this is going to be Avatar.
I will say that the thing I think most about this movie, if this movie would have came out like 4 years ago, would be amazing to me probably. But I think we've seen so much
Yeah.
that it's like it's kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like it's basically like we're talking about DC rebranding itself and trying to like
Yeah.
fix what they did with Justice League,
Yeah.
which is fine. I liked Aquaman.
Momoa?
I liked
Yeah.
Momoa. I thought James Wan did like fix. He was like he was less broy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really like. You know what? I'm not gonna say I didn't like Amber Heard as much. I just didn't think Amber Heard and Momoa really had that much.
They didn't have chemistry. Yeah, I didn't get that from them.
everything that they were doing together seemed kind of forced most of
Yeah.
the time, or it just was like
It was just hot girl, hot guy. Of course they got to get together.
yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly.
You
that's
could
kinda-
tell that they didn't sit together crafty on set. Like, you could tell like he sat over there, she sat over here, and they looked
Yeah.
at each other and was like,
Hey,
Yeah.
we got to
we
see
gotta see
next.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I didn't really feel any chemistry between them, but so it like
Yeah.
them coming together and seemed a little forced.
Mhm.
But I mean, separately, I think they did good with
Yeah.
what they had.
Yeah.
Who else was
Patrick Wilson?
is
No.
that his name? No, I think you got his
that
name.
was
Patrick Wilson. Yeah.
Charlie Wilson.
I liked
Yeah.
Charlie Wilson.
You just got to
I thought Patrick Wilson was a solid character.
Yeah.
Ocean Master.
Ocean Master. That was like, I mean,
He surprised me. I
Yeah.
really thought he was gonna annoy me.
yeah,
and it
I thought he
fine.
was gonna
I thought
be
he did
a
good job.
very like cookie cutter
Yeah.
villainous.
But he's good. But he's always been.
extra villainous.
But he's good though. Like he's been in James Wan's Conjuring. He's been in Insidious. He was in Watchmen. You know, he was also in Batman vs Superman. But I didn't know this. He was like the voice of the president apparently.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I forgot people could see me. 'Cause I definitely was like, whatever. bro.
another thing I was thinking about when I was watching the movie is like, he looks like what I would. Aquaman looks
Traditional
like in the, like he
Aquaman?
looks
Yeah.
like traditional
Aryan
Aquaman.
Aquaman?
Yeah, he looks like traditional Aquaman. So I kept thinking, I was like,
I feel like that was done on purpose.
purpose,
It
probably, yeah.
feels very
He
like,
looked-
okay,
yeah.
cartoon Arthur Curry, and like, this is the new.
yeah. And I liked him. He was dope. I'm more interested in what happens with his character in the next movies.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm sure.
I'm glad they kept him alive
Yeah, I mean,
because that fucking scene where he like he like falls off the cliff was just brutal.
that would have ruined the movie for me.
Yeah.
If they
You
would've
know
killed
what
him.
actor I always enjoy seeing, no matter how small the part? His dad,
Michael Beach.
Michael Beach, oh boy from Soul Food.
Yeah.
That was so like,
Yeah. And you know, watching him die was almost like redemption for Terry from Soul Food.
yeah. Nah, it's not.
What else? I thought all the action was good. The fight scene, like the fight scenes in the beginning when he got on the submarine was dope. I thought his costume was I think seeing the costume work
the real the
on
original.
screen?
Orange and green.
Yeah.
was my favorite part about the movie.
He made it work.
It
He
looked
fucking made it
so
work, yeah.
good because that literally, I said it for the first time on video.
Yeah,
You
2019.
definitely said literally like 4 times.
No, I
since.
haven't.
All right, run the tape.
Run the tape.
Run the tape. No one's gonna
anyway,
run the tape. No one else works here.
Nah, I think they made that work perfectly
Mhm.
on screen
Yeah.
because it could look really corny.
Mm.
Aquaman is literally one of the corniest characters
Yeah.
in DC, and they
Talks to dolphins
I'm not,
and shit. There's
so I'm
no way
not really
around
mad
it.
at this movie at all. It was good.
Yeah.
Like they did the whole rebranding that DC's been doing for the past 12 years of
Yeah.
Aquaman to make him like a cool character.
Yeah.
It's so hard because
Yeah.
he's not that cool of a character. He rides a seahorse, and they've tried to make that look
He
cool.
surfs on them now though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He rides a seahorse. He talks to fish, and they made it.
They made it as
Interesting.
cool
But,
as
but you know
possible.
what? You know what I think worked for it, and I've always been saying this. Like, they have an actor that was earnest in how he played it. He wasn't like wink, wink. Like, hey, this I don't really like doing. Like, you could tell that it was embodying that whole like, you know, because they essentially tailor made that entire character for him. Like,
Yeah.
his dad is like an islander, and like his mom is like white. You know, like they
Kidman.
tailor made it to like him.
His wife, his mom is Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
No, I think you said. I think he made Aquaman more so than Aquaman made him. I think that's yeah.
Did at
did.
any point did it feel like y'all were watching a couple different movies when you were sitting in there watching
Yeah,
Aquaman?
okay, so I mean I want to
Yeah,
hear
I feel
I want to
like
hear your
that.
thoughts on that.
I want to get you go.
I'm gonna
I want you
get
talk
back to
about
that,
it.
but yeah, I want to hear your
Actually,
thoughts.
Say your thoughts.
Honestly, it felt like I was watching 3 different movies, and I was watching Prince of Persia. Don't ever give me a Pitbull. don't ever give me a Pitbull music montage scene emerging from water ever.
Wait.
Ever. So like that drew my ire.
Can I say
Yeah, go ahead.
when that I'm sorry, when that Pitbull song came up, I promise you I was like, oh, I'm watching someone who directed a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah. It had that kind of vibe. Yeah.
Like right with that song, I was like,
That's exactly.
He's gonna come out the water in an Integra on the beach.
yeah, like that. When that Pitbull song came up, I was literally
Family.
I was like,
You embarrass me.
I'm definitely watching someone who directed a Fast
Yeah.
and Furious movie,
Which is okay.
which is fine. But that was jarring.
Yeah.
Wait,
That-
and what do
that's
we
what
say
I'm
about
fine
Fast
for
and
me,
the
though.
Furious movies, Julian?
They suck. I don't know.
You forgot your catchphrase.
I don't care.
Oh, I don't care. I don't
Yeah,
care.
no, I don't.
Yeah, sorry, continue.
Well, whatever. You guys could be diplomatic, but I don't want any Pitbull songs in my comic book movies. And I like Pitbull as a person. I like him as an artist, but no. So like there was times when I was trying to get into it, but I felt like you threw me in another movie, and I was like, oh, here we are. Let's go to Prince of Persia now. I'm with it. Let's go into the sand. Let's go into the desert because that's what Aquaman's
There was
all
definitely
about.
Matthew McConaughey's Sahara.
So I was like, yes, let's get to the desert because this is what I read in the comics. But again, I had to stave off of my DC hate, which is built up by actually righteous. It's not a bad movie. It's fun.
No.
It's a good time. I like Jason.
fun.
I like the cast. Everybody. Nobody annoyed me to where I was
no one
like-
dropped the ball.
Nobody Jesse Eisenberg me.
Yeah.
So like, as long as I don't get Eisenberg and like Batman vs Superman, I'm straight. So yeah.
I was actually expecting him to come out in that movie.
I'm so glad he
I was
did.
like, I was hoping like at the end or something.
I agree. There was another time in the movie that kind of like took me out of the movie. There was a lot of times where it was like different movies.
Yeah.
Like at one point of the movie, it was a romantic comedy,
It was.
and they were playing that music. Like
Yeah.
Ant-Man and Wasp.
no, it wasn't even like that. It was they were playing
But I'm saying rom-com.
they were playing rom-com music.
Yeah.
Like when they got to the little pretty
Sicily?
when they got to
Italy,
Sicily.
yeah.
And she was like looking around and chewing.
It was very
things
Little
and-
Mermaid.
Yeah.
Like it had like
Yeah.
a very Little
It was-
Mermaid
yeah,
vibe
like-
to it.
exactly
Yeah.
how it
The thing
was.
where they like look from both sides.
Yeah, they were looking
Both
from both sides,
Yeah.
but they were playing like the music was like doo 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 doo.
Yeah.
It was like the
Yeah.
rom-com music.
Yeah.
And I was
From
like,
Hitch, yeah.
Yeah, it was very hitchy. In that
Basic
part.
principles.
And it's like, where'd they get all this linen on a fucking cargo ship? Like, he dressed it head to toe in Tommy Bahama. It was stressing me out.
fun movie though.
Fun movie, though.
Yeah. I don't.
It's always fun
fine,
to,
yeah.
to roast a movie at the end of a good
Yeah.
review. But
Yeah.
To touch on your topic about feeling like three different movies, I really do think that the script in the hands of a weaker director would have fucking failed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think James,
1,000%.
yeah, James,
Yeah.
no, and James Wan, I've always been saying this since he was announced as director. Like I trust him. He has like 3 horror franchises, so he has like Saw, Insidious, and Conjuring, and he was able to like jump in and save Fast and the Furious 7. Was it 7? Yeah, 7. And now he's jumping into this. Like I trust him, and so like I was watching it and I was like, this would have sucked under somebody weaker.
No, I agree.
And like this movie, like I was watching, there was moments where I was just like, oh, this is kind of corny, right? I saw the movie twice, by the way, and the part with like his parents at the beginning felt a lot like Splash, like Tom Hanks, and the parts with Mara in Italy or whatever felt like very Little Mermaid. And I was like, oh, this feels like like an Indiana Jones meets Little Mermaid type thing. But this movie has one of the best third acts I've ever seen in any DC movie.
Absolutely.
Like that whole sequence kind of going to the trench.
Oh, with the like piranha looking.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then you went underwater.
And then they go
you saw
underwater.
How many of them it was.
It's
It was
like one of the
incredible.
most beautiful fucking scenes I've ever seen. And like just that whole thing when they go to the what's the name of the sea that's in the center of the earth that they said? The hidden sea. Where they
with
find
the
his mom-
dinosaurs.
Yeah,
With
where
the
they find his
dinosaurs?
mom.
I forgot, but yeah.
Yeah, it's called like the hidden sea.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just fun. Like I was watching this movie with this kind of like, oh, this feels like an adventure movie. Like now he's gonna do something cool.
Definitely.
Even the big like the Kraken,
The Kraken?
octopus
Yeah.
thing, like I didn't hate that.
Yeah.
I
that
thought
was-
it was cool.
Really,
It was-
I thought it was
yeah.
really well done.
Yeah. It like that part did make me feel like a kid.
Yeah.
Because you're just seeing something for the first time and all that. So yeah, this movie has one of the best third acts I've ever seen in a DC movie, and I think it was salvaged. I wouldn't even say salvage because it was entertaining the whole way through. Because there's moments in this movie, especially like when you first go to Atlantis, and that like really cool synth music comes on when you see all the lights, and it's just like it's stunning to look at. So yeah, it's great. You know, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like I don't really have a lot of bad things to say about it.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I think yeah, of course, Jason. He's gonna.
Yeah.
We got it from like.
yeah, that was good enough for me. I wasn't expecting like to be so it was fine. It was fine.
You
did a good job.
Do you guys have anything that like kind of bothered you about the movie? Some nitpicks about it?
I think I already said it. Just the parts that probably took me out a little bit, and it had its corny parts, but it didn't like.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt the movie.
Yeah.
It was just like whatever.
I did have one.
You know what's crazy is that they can manipulate. They're so smart in Aquaman's world that they can manipulate alien technology within like a couple days, because Black Manta was created in like a couple days. He handed him the technology, and I was like, I would like more of like the intellect to be shown.
Yeah.
In Yaya's character, like how did he?
I mean,
discover
doesn't
this?
that say that though? Like him kind of
not really
manipulating it. That
not
kind
really.
of shows
It's
that he's
almost
like
like speeding in the effects of let's do this rom-com thing. That's kind of like as a director, you got to see both sides of it. It's like let's do more Jason and Amber instead of like giving more Yaya of a backstory. Black Manta and giving him some more, a little more backstory. That's what I would have liked.
Yeah.
That's who they were pitching as a villain. But then obviously it's the it's the Ocean Master, which is kind of like but I like the battle that they had. That's probably my favorite. Is their ongoing shit that kind of reminded me of like Black Panther and Winter Soldier and Bucky. It was like every time I see you on site.
On site, yeah.
So like every time I see you,
Yeah.
we're not talking, fam.
Yeah.
We getting it in.
Yeah.
So like I like that, but I just want a little more Black Manta. I guess that's the sequel.
I kind of I always figured that he was gonna end up being like a side character from jump. I always felt like this is gonna be like an origin story, and then Aquaman 2 would be like the real Black Manta movie.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
I was hoping that, like I said, I mean, this is getting into spoilers, but like,
Everybody probably seen it already.
we're past
shit. Damn near at $1 billion.
Yeah.
man.
Well, in the post credit scene, it shows that Black Manta gets picked up by a boat in the ocean.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was going to be Lex Luthor, because you know how he ends in Justice League. He's like on a boat, and I thought.
I'm glad your wish didn't come true, because that would have really.
I was kind of hoping for that. Though.
That would have pissed me off if I saw Jesse Eisenberg.
I did have one nitpick of the movie. It was the kid actor, like the young version of Aquaman, like when he's like
that
trained.
bothered me too.
Yeah, he was a little
Which
distracting.
The teen or
The teenager.
The
It was a little distracting.
What do you guys want from me, man?
Well, I think it was enough for me to just be like, ugh.
It's like young Boba Fett in Star Wars. You got to just kind of eat it, man. Like he wasn't the greatest. So like
That's
Nothing
kind of
about
that's
that
kind of
movie's
why I brought that up. Where like, it's not so much the scale that feels different between the two universes. It's some things just get like, come on, man, you just got to deal with it. Like, what if I don't want to deal with it? Like, what if I want everything to be good? Like, is that so much? But
Yeah.
He definitely.
Yeah. How did you guys feel of like William Dafoe playing some sort of like a Mr. Miyagi kind of character?
Follow me?
he came and he went. He was like a fart in the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember him. Like, he was.
Did you guys think?
I felt that was. I love Willem Dafoe as an actor. I felt like that was weird casting.
Yeah.
Like
He was free.
Well, you know what I thought? I thought he was gonna. They were casting him because it was gonna turn out that he was the one sort of pulling the strings all along.
That's
Like,
what
he was
I think
be
that's
able
what
to be
made
a bad
everybody
guy.
uncomfortable,
Yeah.
because we're so used to his betrayals.
villain.
Yeah.
And we're fucking watching you, and then he was just nice the whole time, and
Which is weird,
now
right?
I felt weird.
It's like,
You're
yeah.
like, all right, well, have a good day then.
Yeah, like thanks. Like I don't know. Like I didn't like that you weren't evil.
Yeah.
That was weird. I felt like that could have been, because if you're not gonna have Willem Dafoe, have somebody else do that.
Yeah.
Because if he's like
Charlton
a
Copley or something.
guidance like trainer mentor, then we could have went with like an older action figure. But like you went with like a nefarious actor and didn't let him nefarious. That was that there was tension there that never got released.
You know,
You gotta let Willem Dafoe nefarious.
no, you know what it feels like? It feels like watching Johnny Depp in a movie and him not playing it eccentric. It's just normal
like
Johnny
imagine
Depp.
Johnny
like,
Depp like as a bus
Oh,
driver.
you mean like in that one movie where he was like artificial intelligence, and because he was like calm the whole time.
he was calm in that one, but
Yeah.
he turns
Or-
out evil in that one. But I'm just saying, like, imagine
What movie
just
is that?
What?
Man, he just done some stinkers.
It's the one where he dies and
He,
they
like,
upload
dies and they
his
upload
his
his
consciousness.
mind
I
into-
Yeah.
have no idea what y'all are talking
Yeah.
about. That
It's a
sounds
bad, it's not
It
good.
really is
that
bad.
definitely sounds like some back taxes movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta find that one. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I'm all for characters. I mean,
It's a
I'm
legal
all
fee movie.
I'm all for actors expanding.
That movie's like a glorified Black Mirror episode. That's what it is.
Yeah,
I forgot the
movie
name.
is
I
this?
forgot the name of it.
Transcendence.
Transcendence.
that is it. See,
Yo,
you
it's
just
That's
know.
it. That's it.
Because I'm a fucking database.
Jason be knowing shit he don't want to know. Like, he's like, fuck,
It's like once it goes in, it never
Yeah,
comes
like,
out.
I'm
It's
literally
in there.
thinking about it, but it was so bad.
Yeah. What did you guys think of just Atlantis in general?
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was dope.
It looked
I
good,
like the Tokyo-ness of it. I like
Oh,
the
I like that. That's
I guess
good.
I'll say this. I'm down with a sequel. I'll check out a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check out a sequel.
More sharks with laser beams.
You know, whatever.
Laser
Yeah.
beam.
Less sand in the sequel.
Yeah.
Well, you
Please.
know, less Prince of Persia, more Aquaman. Let's knock it out. We got it. CGI can be better.
That
I thought the CGI was pretty
I thought
good.
It was pretty
CGI
good.
It was good.
that ending that
pretty
last
good.
fight when they're fighting like in the rain looks straight out of like Injustice, like
Or-
the video game.
Yeah, yeah.
It looked like a
Or,
cutscene
or like a Ray J video. I'm just playing. That was
Ray J. What else? What do we want to expect for the sequel? Like you said,
More Black Manta.
More Black Manta.
Black
More
Manta.
Black Manta.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll say that, and I would like them to introduce
Yeah, we don't know any-
Aqualad, maybe, but not like, because they can't do like Black Aqualad yet, because Black Manta is just kind of finding out about
yeah.
that place, so they can't do that. But maybe like the Tempest character, the first
Yeah.
Mm.
You
Aqualad.
never know, man. DC, man. You never know. He might wake up in Atlantis. DC's and they jump timelines. You never know. Could be Aqualad. Young Black Aqualad.
No, I just give me Tempest for now. I like that.
I don't
one.
know if I want to see the blonde Black Aqualad. On
Not
the
yet,
big
not yet,
screen.
because like they have to explain like that. But for now,
Yeah.
I would like to see Tempest.
Comparisons to Cisco will be had.
I would like to see
Yeah,
Tempest.
he look. I've always
Oh,
said
man.
from the Young Justice he looked like he's from Atlanta. it always with the contact lenses and the blonde hair. I'm like,
Hey, they made Killmonger from Oakland. They'll make
true.
like they'll make
Yeah.
Aqualad from fucking
But-
Atlanta.
I would like to see Tempest.
Okay.
that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, who is that? So Randall Park pops up in the movie. What character is he supposed to play? Like, who is he in the books? He's the one that picks up Black Manta.
What?
Randall Park.
The doctor guy.
Yeah.
He is actually a friend of in the books. I can't remember the character's name right now.
Mm.
But he is a friend of Aquaman's in the
Mm.
books. But the beginning of how that's coming off, that actually happens in the books.
Mhm.
Black Manta finds out who he is, and
Mhm.
he uses him to figure out where Atlanta is. Atlanta.
Atlanta.
You did that to me.
Yes.
Where Atlanta is, Charlotte.
Atlantis.
Figured out where Atlanta is.
What it is,
Buckhead, what
Charlotte.
up?
What it is, Charlotte.
You know what it made me think about? There was parts in the movie that made me think of Hercules and the Legendary Journeys, like when they started talking about the backstory of like,
That's our first Kevin Sorbo reference.
No, that's our first Kevin Sorbo reference.
I
I was
didn't
talking
watch
about
that.
the world. I was thinking about like mythology and shit. But I like
Wait, what part made you think of that?
when they're talking about how
Man, you know it's David, man. You guys got to shut
Nah,
it down.
sometimes.
Well,
sometimes-
two-
if David going David. We gotta go there because I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Well, when they're talking about Atlantis,
Mhm.
like when it was above ground, and then when they go into that like into the abandoned city in the desert, whatever. When
Mhm.
you see them kind of walking through the tomb, it kind of sort of reminded me of like all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
fucking great.
Fucking
Jason,
great.
what'd you think?
I enjoyed every moment of that. From just like, I don't even know if I started talking about it, I'd probably give up the entire movie because like it's just a huge Easter egg. It's like
Spoil the shit out of it.
no, it's a ton of fun. It gives you like for some reason it gives you so much context onto the different Spider-Men that are in one universe. Like you get to know Miles, which is really dope because
Mhm.
like Miles is a huge thing for us. But you get
Mhm.
to know like there's a couple Peter Parkers in there from like different universes. So there's so much to like. What I really appreciated and what my biggest takeaway from it, why I'm really excited about a sequel, is the villains. I noticed that they used like milquetoast villains. because they wanted you to really focus on the cohesiveness of the
I don't know
Spider-Man.
what that phrase
Yeah, I don't know
means.
what that
Oh,
Well, I
sorry.
mean, I don't think so. I mean, you mean
well,
like-
milquetoast, meaning like milquetoast is like not like titular, which is like
I mean, Kingpin and the Goblin are.
think about the big time ones. If you want to do an animated film and you want to really unite the Spider-Verse, who are we missing in that film?
They did
Doc
the green.
Ock. I mean, they
the
did
Green
everybody. They
Goblin.
did Doc Ock.
Doc Ock. They did their just
Kingpin.
an alternate version of it. They did
Come on, y'all.
Scorpion.
Let's keep
They-
rolling. Who we missing? We missing
Kingpin.
Lizard. We missing Sandman. We missing Venom. We missing Carnage. We're
That's-
missing so many.
Every one of his
That's pretty much
characters.
all his-
but I'm saying like that's why I was saying
Sandman
like,
is not the crazy. I mean, Sandman got a
I
lot of love
enjoyed-
in old
I
movies,
enjoyed-
but
I enjoyed
They
Sandman.
gave you his big
yeah, because I feel like you,
Yeah, they
you
did.
gave Sandman a promotion
I did, I
in
did, I
that.
did.
They gave
I
you
did,
his
personally.
big villains. Green Goblin
I did.
is his biggest villain.
Yeah.
Doc
Yeah.
Ock is his biggest villain.
Yeah.
Kingpin is also one of his biggest villains.
that's
I mean,
the Spider-Verse.
I mean,
And
It was different
Miles,
ones.
you need the Prowler for the family connection.
Yeah. I was cool with the Prowler. All that was fine. But that's why I was saying I was excited about the sequel. You fucking assholes didn't let me finish my thought. Y'all just attacking me.
Because you said milk toast.
To
You
me,
said-
that's my.
You said
that's,
the milk dud characters that
it's
you didn't
mine.
like.
I said I didn't say milk does.
Go ahead, man.
Finish your thought.
Yeah, but
Got your ass.
no, it was the voice acting was fucking great. Everybody was the movie was just delightful, man. And I hate that I was late to see it. I wish I got to see it earlier so I could sing praises about it and make other people see it. But I'm ready for. They could do 3 of them shits, and I'm
Yeah.
all in.
Yeah, the movie was great. I think the animation was like just so it was like really interesting to watch. But
Yeah.
it had because it had this psychedelic
Yeah.
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
to it. Sounds like I was on drugs when I was watching,
Yeah,
but
I was.
wasn't.
I mean,
I'm about to say I should rewatch that faded.
but
I was high as shit.
like
bro.
it's like maybe it would look crazier if you were, but like
sounds fun.
It was great. It was great. We should go.
He's like, look at all these milk toasts. Oh, shit. This is incredible.
I think that's
look
what
at
made
all
him.
these milk toasts on the screen.
Why does Kingpin look so tiny? He's weak.
Kingpin did look like a milk dud.
Yeah, all the voice acting was great. I thought the music.
Yeah.
Man, I'm
incredible
still singing
for-
that Sway Lee song.
Yeah, I've been
music
singing
was
that
great.
song for months now. But like that
I
whole
think
the
the
whole soundtrack
music-
was perfect for it.
The music brings it to an interesting thing where that felt like that was our movie.
Yep.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
that felt like it was so for us, by us,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt very like where the comic world has come to in this world which is essentially what this podcast represents, is like the nucleus of all these things coming together.
Mhm.
And like
True. Yes.
I saw such a small thing, but it meant so much to me. It was around when Spider Pig was doing his thing, and it was like bat boom, like all the signs,
Mhm.
and then Spider Woman or Spider Girl,
Spider Gwen.
Spider Gwen,
Spider-Gwen.
Spider
Yeah.
Gwen, and Miles Spider Man hit each other's fists, and it said "DAP."
Yeah.
Thing. And I was like, damn, like, so that's from Batman's like pow
Mm-hmm.
all the way to like what we represent in
Yeah.
this culture,
Yeah.
all the way, like
Yeah.
full circle.
Yeah.
And that was dope.
Yeah.
I really
Huh.
enjoyed that.
No, yeah, I thought the music was like amazing. Dang,
Sorry, I didn't
I
mean
thought,
to
but that's all good.
derail.
I forgot.
No, you know-
you brought up a good point though.
No, but yeah, you're right about that. One of the things I really liked about it was the relationship between him and his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a way like that we interact with like elders that we're really cool with that are
Mhm.
like cooler than us. Like, I mean, they're
Yeah.
older than us and we think we're really cool. Like there's a way we interact with them that is very unique to black and brown kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they captured that and the way that like there was something about when he went to his house and he was just kicking it with him. Like I
Yeah.
felt that like that
Yeah, I
warm,
felt
fuzzy
that.
feeling. You
Because
know?
it's like your parents are those like guardian figures.
Yeah.
That no matter how cool they are, they're your parents,
Mhm,
right? And there was always an aunt or an uncle who
Mhm.
like smoked, had a cooler car,
Yeah.
something that was very. And I don't know if they do this in the books.
Oh, I remember. I'm sorry. The humor. I thought. I'm sorry. This popped in my head just now. I'm sorry to cut you.
Yeah,
off.
no, it's okay. I cut you off first. It's fine.
That's profound.
Humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the humor. I'll come back to it, but go ahead.
Question for you: in books for Miles Morales, is the Prowler supposed to be his Uncle
Yes.
Ben?
No, Uncle Ben.
No, I know, but like
There was an Uncle Ben
the
moment in the
Uncle
movie.
Ben
Yeah.
moment where he dies, and they were like, "Oh, well, I had Uncle Ben," and then they were like, "Well, I had that character that like I've anchored to that's my inspiration that died,"
No,
and I feel like them creating that.
I mean
was
the
dope.
Prowler. They created that for the
That's what I mean.
but because the Prowler doesn't die.
Yeah, I know.
Mm.
The reason Miles Morales became Spider-Man was how it happened in the beginning. Is Spider-Man died,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so he had to become the new
Yeah.
Spider-Man. So, but that was a good
But that was a
dynamic that they
cool-
added
yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of dope how they like just body Spider-Man in the beginning. I
Yeah.
just don't really think that
got
you
him
would.
the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What I liked is just the little changes when they would show like the alternate universes. Like there was always like just little tiny changes, and like Coca-Cola didn't look like Coca-Cola.
It
had
said
a-
Yeah, there was
something-
like
it
a
said something
Filipino
different
Chance
too.
the
Yeah.
Rapper.
Coca soda.
Yeah.
That's what I kept laughing at because maybe I was high, but like.
But
Oh, there was a
It's
Filipino
like a
Chance the
Filipino
Rapper.
Chance the Rapper. If y'all look at it again,
There was
like,
that.
it's
They had
good.
in the background. They had like the Weeknd's
The
album.
Weeknd, yeah.
There was like a lot of little
Yeah.
Yeah.
things
Pop
that they-
culture.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Also, Nicolas Cage was fucking hilarious.
Dude, he's great.
He's and all the Spider-Man noir
All
was
the
fucking
the
funny.
humor worked. Like when
John Mulaney.
I thought was funny was
Yeah, he's great.
when the Spider-Man of his spot died and they did like the little memorial and Mary Jane was
Mhm.
talking.
Yeah.
And then like Miles was like, he's like, yeah, he's talking that.
Oh,
I
he
need to do
was-
that. And then the dude was like, he's not really like talking
I don't think she meant
specifically
you
to you.
specifically.
Yeah,
Like it was like little
Like a
things that
metaphor.
was
Yeah.
like happening that I thought was funny.
My favorite moment when we see Mary Jane is when the Peter Parker from, I guess, our universe.
The blonde one.
No, well, we don't have the blonde. We have the real one. We have the one with the dark hair.
Okay.
The blonde one is in Miles Morales' universe.
Yeah.
When our Peter Parker sees the Mary Jane in that universe, and he's
Yeah.
like he's like trying to
Oh,
like,
and he's talking about the bread.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
And then when there was another one where Spider Pig said, "That's all, folks."
Yeah, and he's
And
like,
then
can
he-
he say that?
Yeah, I was
He's like, "Can you legally say
that?
that?"
Yeah, you legally say that?
Oh, like there was a
You
lot of
gotta
like,
know,
good
I
jokes.
love fourth wall breaks.
Yeah.
I love when someone
Yeah.
talks to me.
Yeah.
So that was incredible.
Yeah, man, I was all for it. It was a good post credit scene, right?
Yeah, what did you guys think of the post credits?
I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Yes,
because like
that was
Yeah.
that was my favorite. I think that
Yeah.
was one of my favorite.
Where they made
parts
fun of the
movie, 'cause
meme.
Like, yo,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yo,
and the funny
you're
thing,
the-
funny thing about that is like on Instagram, I posted like while I was watching the credits, I posted that meme. I was like, "This is what Into the Spider-Verse is," and I posted the meme.
Yeah.
And then immediately like the post credit starts, and I was like, "Oh my god, they fucking did
Yeah,
that shit."
yeah, that shit was great.
I like Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's a good choice.
that's a good character. I like
Yeah.
I like that character.
there's gonna be a trilogy of these, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch all three of them. and
Sony-
enjoy all
Sony-
of them shit.
Did something right.
They killed
Yeah.
it. They
Man.
killed it. Honestly,
You know what's crazy is that like Sony and maybe our next review to segue into it, Sony, and you get it right when maybe we need to look at who was at the reins of
Mhm.
certain projects, because certain people have a certain love for things. Like
Yeah.
if you handed us certain properties, there's shit that the four of us, like individually, would absolutely body.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
There's a Quentin Tarantino quote that I remember from an old interview that's like, no matter what you know about filmmaking, whether it's cameras and lenses and film school and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
if you love cinema
Mm-hmm.
or if you love the product, you can't help but make a good movie.
yep,
And I think that's really evident in a lot of these. And I feel like if I was just like a magical, like omniscient executive producer, I'm like, okay, you made this, fired. You made this, promoted. You made this, fired. You made
Mhm.
this, promoted. Because you can see it. You
Mhm.
can so clearly tell you have to be a nerd about this stuff to make a good product.
yep,
Yeah. I mean, I know we're skipping topics, but like
Right?
this past weekend it was the Golden Globes, and Into the Spider-Verse won for Best Animated Feature.
That's what made me
Yeah.
get up. Actually, funny enough, that's
Yeah.
what made me get up.
Yeah.
As soon as that award was announced, I was chilling I was getting ready to watch the Golden Globes and chill out, and they were like, Best Animated Feature, and I saw what it was up against, and I was like, yo, you beat out Disney pick. Yep.
Yeah.
Got my ass up, and I
Yeah.
was like, yep, I'm gonna go up to Universal City Walk,
Yeah.
go check this shit out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was the best decision I made.
And it's crazy because like you said, like
Wait, you I'm sorry, you hadn't seen it yet?
No, I hadn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it.
Because like every year it's like there's a monopoly of it's either Pixar or it's Disney. I mean, it's the same company, right? And kind of in a weird long way. I mean, Spider-Man is a Disney character now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's surprising because of the monopoly that these two animation studios have had, and the fact that because this year we had The Incredibles 2 and we had Wreck-It Ralph, which I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph yet.
Me either.
I haven't seen either, but I
Yeah.
heard Rick and Ralph 2 is
I
really
hadn't
good.
seen
Really?
The Incredibles 2.
Incredibles is good.
Incredibles was
I haven't
good,
seen
yeah.
Incredibles.
I like
I hadn't
it.
seen The Incredibles 2, but I guess I should watch it.
We did review it on this episode on
I
this
think I just stayed
show.
quiet.
And I still didn't. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was the one that
We
I think that was
You
reviewed it.
guys reviewed.
Yeah.
You guys
I
reviewed it.
reviewed
I
it.
think we
It was a
reviewed,
lopsided
we reviewed something
review.
else.
Yeah.
Was it Luke Cage? I think that's what we watched.
Yeah.
I think that was.
And that was the one that
we
was like,
watched Luke Cage. And we
Very
spent way
happy
more
to be
time.
here. But yeah, no, I think it speaks volumes, and I really loved when during the acceptance speech they brought out like almost everybody that worked on it, like head animators and storyboard artists, and there's three directors on it. It speaks volumes to like the care that was put into this movie, and even so far that like Sony developed the technology specifically for this movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you were saying, like there's a lot of care and love that was put into this movie, and it shows. And I'm glad that they're reaping the benefits with like, sales and with awards.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I'm really hoping that like it fares well at the Oscars and
think it will.
wins an Oscar. Yeah.
Typically, that's like
I-
the big indicator
Yeah.
factor.
I think the original directors for this, they're on the Flash movie. The guys who directed Game Night.
Oh yeah, Phil
Lord and
Lord.
Chris Miller.
Yeah,
Chris Miller.
because they were supposed to direct this.
Yeah.
They did the Lego movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were supposed to direct
Yeah.
this too.
And they were supposed to do Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were.
Well,
They got-
that
they got
probably,
kicked out of that.
Man, I wish they wouldn't have been kicked out of that because that was the solo movie that we actually deserved. That was the one that we didn't want
Yeah.
because nobody wanted a solo movie.
Nobody wanted to.
But like, since we got it, we're like, all right, can we make it? Can we make it cool? Can we make
Mhm.
it like? But then you just gave us like
Yeah.
a lifetime solo movie.
Yeah. All right. Spider-Man was good.
Spider-Man
watch it.
Fire. That's gonna be a weird cut.
That's gonna be a weird cut.
It's all good. We'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Spider-Man was great. I don't know
I
what
don't
else to say.
Yeah.
Let me introduce the topic. So
Yeah.
this topic is the top 5 anticipated movies of 2019. So it's the top of the year. There's a lot of really good, exciting movies coming out this year that we're kind of looking forward to. And Jason, when we brought up this topic, Jason proposed a rule. If you want to talk about it, Jason.
That David can only pick 5.
Yeah,
Because
because I did not follow that other rule at all.
but the other one was our most anticipated outside of the comic book realm. So obviously, you guys know. Well, you guys obviously know that Captain Marvel is due in March.
I didn't have that on my list.
Shazam is due in March.
April.
Avengers. I'm sorry. Shazam is due in April. Avengers Endgame is due in April. There's what are
Okay.
the other ones that are?
I mean,
I didn't follow
we,
those rules.
pretty much any comic book
yeah,
film
like Joker.
like from the big two, MCU and DC, like those are kind of
I didn't follow any of these rules. But it's okay.
so
Gonna say my moves
the
anyway.
rules are like because those are a given. Instead of filling our top 5 with those, we decided to kind of pick other movies, and I kind of posted up a couple of lists on the Slack, so these guys can kind of see what movies are coming out. And it's like a lot.
I went through them and I still have 2 superhero
Yeah.
movies on my list.
Okay.
So
So
who wants to start?
you know what? I'll start.
Where are we? But how are we gonna do that? Are we gonna go down the row of 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, or are we gonna go like
No, let's just do 5.
5?
Yeah, you say you're 5.
So okay, so we'll do this. We'll say our top 5, and we'll kind of like say
Like, yeah,
just talk a little bit about it.
yeah.
All right. So number 5. My number 5. So I have a lot, by the way, but my number 5 is The Irishman, and that is a Martin Scorsese movie that's currently being filmed or finished right now. That is going to be on Netflix at the end of the year. So at the end of 2019, and this one brings back De Niro, Pacino, and Pesci.
Nice.
And the interesting thing about this movie, aside from it being a Martin Scorsese movie that's strictly for streaming, is that they're using the de-aging technology on these guys. So it's supposed to show about this one guy who was part of a group that killed Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh,
And so they're trying to show these guys at different stages. So from like their 30s all the way until like their 70s. And instead of casting younger actors, they're just having these older veteran actors de-age. So I'm very interested to see how that's gonna kind of look.
Yeah.
Because it has so many ways to go wrong and so many ways to go right.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. New Scorsese movie. My number 4 is Godzilla, King of Monsters. I'm excited for that. It's the next entry into the monster universe. Godzilla fights a bunch of other monsters, so I'm excited for that one. My number 3 is Us by Jordan Peele. One of the best trailers that I've seen in a very long time. We'll talk about that in news bites. But I'm excited for that because it's his follow-up to Get Out. So he calls it a social horror films, Number 2 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is the Tarantino film that, for me at least, any Tarantino film is anticipated already.
Yeah.
But this one I feel is kind of special because it's Tarantino's return to telling a story set in L.A., which I think is where he shines. And you have 2 of the biggest actors, as leads. You have DiCaprio and Brad Pitt.
Crazy cast.
Yeah,
Crazy.
And pretty much everybody under the sun, that he's had in his movies. So it's set in 1969, and if some of you who live in LA probably saw like a couple months ago, most of Hollywood Boulevard was kind of transformed into like it was like if you stepped right into 1969, like all the storefronts and everything were changed.
I didn't see that. I didn't even know about
It was like I think it was on Sunset. Sunset.
Cool.
Like even like the Cinerama Dome had like this old movie kind of on the marquee kind of thing.
That's fresh.
So I'm excited for that. I mean, the production design already looks crazy. The storyline, it's set around the time that the Manson murders occurred. You had Margot Robbie
1969.
playing Sharon Tate. So there's a lot of factors in that I'm like, oh, this is one of my more anticipated movies. And I actually thought it was coming out at the end of the year. It's actually coming out in the summer. So that's
August 9th.
yeah. And my number 1 is Star Wars Episode 9, which I think is a no-brainer, and it goes without saying.
All right.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Who's gonna go? I'm gonna go. You gonna go?
I can go next. That's fine. Number 5 for me was Star Wars to complete the whole shebang. Usually Star Wars is released around my birthday, which is pretty tight. So like Christmas time. It's always a good time. Number 4 for me was ironically enough Toy Story 4.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready to see. I'm ready to fucking be devastated because Tim Allen. All the interviews I've read, I've seen from it. Everyone who's acted in it's like, oh, it's really sad. Like it's devastating reading these lines, and it's like, thanks. I'm already like ready to die.
That was definitely on my David list, but not
Yeah.
on my top 5.
So number 3 for me is Lion King. So the live action Lion King with the cast Beano. Damn, why do I want to say Beyonce, but I don't want to say Beyonce? But I guess
Isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but
She's in which one?
I know she's Nala.
In Lion King. Lion King. Sorry.
That looks like it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
And every Disney live action movie has been good enough for me. And number 2 for me is Us. I'm looking forward to that because I love to Get Out. And number 1, ironically enough, is Aladdin.
Yeah.
Because that's my favorite Disney movie of all time.
Aladdin's gonna be fucking dope.
I'm like literally that might be the episode
And a
where
quick thing about fucking Aladdin, I was so excited that there's an Egyptian kid playing Aladdin. I think his name is Mina Masood. And they pressed his hair, and it bothers me so. I mean, I understand. Listen, this is a personal gripe. I understand this is about. I'm making this about me for a second, but I understand the way the cartoon looks. He's a brown kid with very Caucasian hair.
Yeah.
Because we drew racistly, but you can't just do that to a real person. That shit look weird as fuck.
What did you want the consistency of his coif to be?
I don't know, but his regular hair is like normal wavy hair, and his shit is like, it looks like a fucking wig. It just plopped on his head. It looks fucking weird. And I don't know why I brought that up, but it bothers me. Julian could go next so I could have time to think about why I brought that up.
All right.
Why
Number
did I have my
number
list, by the
5
way?
for me is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I had to get that out the way.
Yeah.
The cast looks amazing.
Yep.
Quentin Tarantino, L.A.
Yeah.
It looks great. I didn't follow your rules. Number 4, Shazam for me.
Okay.
I don't care.
No respect. This is a
Number
round
4,
table.
it's
No
Shazam.
respect.
It looks. I've been excited for this movie for since it was announced.
Yeah.
It has that very big influence. That Tom Hanks big influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm I hope it's good, and I hope this continues the whole good DC movie rebrand.
I think it will.
Number 3, It 2.
That was
Really?
That was chapter. That was on
Yeah.
6 on
This
mine.
movie,
Interesting.
this
That was in
movie-
my wild cards.
This movie, like, I used to be so absolutely
I
scared.
was so shocked. I remember, and this is how long I've been friends with Julian. I remember walking around in a Blockbuster with this man, and he walked around the aisle where it was.
Never liked it.
Where
like,
the It DVD was, to the point where I picked it up and threw it at him, and he ran. So when that just warmed my heart, because
Oh
I'm
my-
like, damn, this It movie was good. When I loved
it was
this
really
He's
good.
about to face his fear.
It was
I mean, I already did.
It was good enough for him to not only get over his fear.
Yeah.
he enjoyed it so much he's looking forward.
For
I'm
the
looking
next
forward
one.
for the
the
next
sequel.
one. Yeah,
That's
like,
dope.
That's dope.
I actually did like it. Number 2 is Lion King.
Mm.
It's Lion King.
It's Lion King. That's true.
And number 1
Is
is Cameron and Hodge, The Fast and Fear. I'm totally joking, everybody. I don't want to see that.
I was about to say, I was like, damn,
Get
really?
that movie the fuck out of here.
Cameron
What
and
this nigga say?
Hodge.
Cameron Hodge.
Whatever. The Fast
Hobbs and
Furious-
Shaw.
Hobbs and
Hobbs
Shaw.
and Shaw.
Who was Cameron
Whatever.
Hodge? Was he a key grip? Was he a key grip on the last Fast and Furious?
He took Calvin and
He's the
Hobbes
guy at Crafty that makes
and
really good
switched it
burritos.
Into my
Whatever.
God.
Get him out of here. Let's just play.
Yeah.
What's your number 1?
It's Adventures Endgame. Like, get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here, you
Yeah.
guys. Like, I don't like.
No
It's the
brainer.
most no-brainer. It's the
Yeah.
most anticipated movie. I need to know what's gonna happen.
So
Yeah.
my 5 that did follow the rules are, and I didn't do it in order because that's hard to love them at different lengths.
Yeah, it's true.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Alita.
Mm.
What's it about?
It's that it looks like a fake Ghost in a Shell with like the little robot girl, but she like
Oh
fights
yeah,
all
yeah, I
interesting.
just saw that.
That shit looks dope to me. Detective Pikachu,
That looks hilarious.
Lion King, and number 1 is just, it's not about cinematic prowess or whatever. It's just close to my heart. Bad Boys for Life. I really want to see
Is
that.
that coming out?
They
This
coming
year?
out in 2019?
It was on your list.
Was it on the list? Oh, yeah, I didn't even
Oh
know.
shit. Well,
Yeah.
that actually is number 5. 'Cause-
Did you guys have any that were not in your top 5?
yeah, it was.
It- yeah.
Well, here's if I can round out the other ones. That
Us.
were outside.
He just asked that because he wants to say the rest.
Yeah.
Of
I mean, because there's like,
Godzilla was on that. You know what? One of them that nobody mentioned was the La Llorona story, the one with Linda Cardellini.
I don't know what that is.
I care about
then
that
that's
shit because that's like scary. That seems like
hold on one second.
What was
it's
that?
like the Boogie Woman.
There was 2 that I kind of noticed that I was like, oh, I was surprised they're both coming out this year. There's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark that Del Toro is producing. Guillermo del Toro. Is
Yeah,
producing.
dude. That remember that cover? It was terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of us kind of grew up with those like books and in the library and
Goosebumps.
yeah.
That's how I used to hustle.
There's also Are You Afraid of the Dark? Is also they're actually making a movie of that.
Oh, was that coming out this
Yeah.
year?
Yeah, I can't do it, man. I can't get behind it. Watch the show again.
I didn't know that was
Watch
coming
the show
out this
again.
year.
Yeah.
There are some things that I need to stay dead, and it's Nickelodeon's entire universe.
That's
and I
the
need
guy who brings up Tales from the Crypt every time we talk about anything.
The Tales from the Crypt is not Nickelodeon, fool.
I know, but
Tales from the Crypt.
But it's something that needs to
HBO.
stay
to
dead.
stay dead.
What? Okay, so what part of Tales from the Crypt? Y'all want to open up this can?
No,
Tales
not
from the
really.
Crypt was a great horror anthology series that
Yeah.
launched the careers and sustained the careers of several fucking prominent and like undiscovered actors. And I will put that on the Slack. There's some episodes that y'all will watch that are really fucking good. Like Ulrich the Undying. There's one where like this dude has like 9 lives like a cat, and he's like a
Julian's battery's dying.
fuck you guys.
You remember who had a sidekick? You remember? Whoa.
Yeah, I remember that.
Got it.
No one's looking forward to Cats, the movie.
I am.
Idris Elba's in that. That's crazy.
You know what? I'm actually what is like not guilty pleasure, but like guilty pleasure curiosity. Wicked, because I've always heard of it being an incredible play.
Yeah.
I obviously
Yeah.
didn't
I've
go
never
see
seen the play either.
I've never
For,
seen that
for
cat
it to
turn
be
into-
in a movie,
Yeah.
I'd watch that. I'm curious what happens.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested in seeing because there's some movies that I just read the concept and I was like, oh, this already looks interesting. There's a movie called Ad Astra, which is a Brad Pitt movie where he plays an astronaut that I guess 20
Nope.
years. Listen to this. 20 years earlier, I guess his dad.
No.
Well, fuck. You.
I'm just like, I want to hear what his dad do.
No, so I guess his dad, played by Tommy Lee Jones, I guess went to Neptune like 20 years earlier. And I guess there's a new mission 20 years later that the son decides to go, I guess, and search for the dad. So, I mean, there's something kind of very interstellar of it that I really kind of want to say. There's another one, Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah.
That kind of looks really interesting with Christian Bale and Matt Damon.
Is anybody interested in the Addams Family?
The animated series.
It's going to be animated,
Oh,
right?
it's going to be animated?
Yes.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
that interested anymore.
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, like, obviously, like, a given is going to be all these Marvel movies. You have Spider-Man.
We know what's up. Well, you know what the interesting part of
Joker,
that?
we didn't know it said
Is
that.
that like, obviously we know Joker is
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be the sleeper joint. Hopefully.
I'm still on the fence.
Maybe. We gotta see a trailer. We gotta see how it looks. I want to see how it looks.
None of you
in
guys
live
said
action.
Brightburn?
No,
Oh, I wrote it down, but didn't put it on my.
Okay.
but I'm interested.
There's gonna
to
be
see
John
this-
Wick 3?
This whole March through April shit because Captain Marvel is gonna have her theater run, and typically that should lead into the beginning of Avengers. But then Shazam threw himself in this whole mix.
Yeah. And
Which
then
is like that's
fo-
fucking ballsy.
Followed by Hellboy.
That's in Hellboy. It's like Hellboy. What are you doing?
Get your ass back in the house. That's all.
What you doing? But that's kind of interesting to see how that April's gonna play out. I mean, not for us. It's gonna be an expensive April, but
Well, not really. What's it called? Comes out in March.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel comes out in March.
Mm,
Shazam comes out in
April. Yeah.
You not gonna see Hellboy?
I might.
You gonna see Hellboy?
gonna see it.
I'm
gonna see
You guys
Hellboy.
let me know how it is, and then I'll go see it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, there's a few.
I like
here.
David Harbour. That's why.
Yeah, I do too.
I like
So.
Stranger Things.
You guys have
I'll
any
watch
interest in
that.
watching in Shaft coming out?
No,
No, I didn't even know that was like
So,
a thing until
so I mean, it's pretty much like going to be a sequel to.
the
one-
original. Yeah, I
the-
saw Samuel
yeah.
Jackson's in this again.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Busta Rhymes in it?
I don't think so. actually. I don't think so. The original Shaft is in it too. I forget his name.
Richard Roundtree.
Yeah, Roundtree.
Yeah. Ill-advised. Ill-advised.
Dude,
Yeah.
what's his name
Flag on
die?
play, flag on
Did
play.
Christian Bale die in the first one?
Christian Bale's in Shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was that racist ass like dude.
I didn't
that-
watch the one with Samuel Jackson.
Christian
No.
Bale was in that.
Yeah,
the
he was-
dude from I know he died, but from
Jeffrey
Westworld.
Jeffrey Rush.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey
Jeffrey Wright.
Wright.
Sorry.
Jeffrey Rush.
he was in it. He died.
Damn.
He plays like a Dominican.
Yeah, he played Dominican.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I remember
amazing.
that movie. There's a Michael Bay movie coming out next year called Six Underground. It's going to be a Netflix
News
movie.
bites. Now you're getting
Yeah.
the David territory. You about
I'm
to-
just
you
like
about to get 38 movies out, man. Y'all gonna
Oh,
let
like,
him do it,
hey,
man. Y'all gonna let him
what
do it.
we
Y'all
got
gonna let
next?
him do it.
Before we let
all right, we're all excited for these movies. Honestly, of all of these, there's really, I mean, obviously, like I said, Star Wars is kind of like a given, but there's two that I'm really looking forward to: Us and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
100%.
I feel like
Yeah.
those are. I mean, I'm excited for Jordan Peele's kind of follow up, and obviously, Tarantino coming back to LA is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the like spicy tweet that Blockbuster posted?
No.
Blockbuster has a verified account.
Damn.
What did they say?
I really feel like shit.
Blockbuster tweet why you're leaving Netflix. The top 3 most creative tweets using hashtag goodbye Netflix will win a 1-year subscription to Blockbuster.
So Blockbuster, what?
Blockbuster what?
I don't know.
What Blockbuster they talking about?
A subscription to.
Blockbuster.
Did
So
somebody
one-
just come out of a coma or something? Jesus Christ.
They have a verified.
There's,
Blockbuster has a verified account.
there's like one video store in Albuquerque, New Mexico that you
But
can
like-
still get.
I think it's in Alaska or something. I
Wouldn't
don't
you
know.
think wouldn't that be kind of crazy if they reinvented themselves as like a great streaming? Well, no,
That
there's
would
no
be
way.
dope.
They tried doing that.
They did.
They
tried doing that, and
did.
it
Like
failed.
They tried to be a Blockbuster streaming
Why
service?
nobody
Yes.
tell me? I
After,
would.
after like they started getting rid of all the stores, they tried to be a streaming service. And it
Yeah,
failed.
and they
I feel
had
like
the
they
opportunity
tried-
to buy Netflix, and they said no. They're like, we're just gonna do it.
Well, that was before like
That was
Netflix
before.
became.
Oh,
like,
really?
Netflix.
Okay.
That was while Blockbuster had leverage to be like no.
Yeah,
But I don't ever remember hearing about a streaming service.
Yeah, me
I feel
either.
like-
yeah.
no,
It was like in the early 2000s
Yeah.
when we were in college.
Yep.
Yeah,
They tried to be a streaming service and
Yeah.
failed.
Damn.
I remember. I had a buddy who actually had the Blockbuster streaming service, and I had Netflix, and he was like, "No, Blockbuster's gonna be the winner out of this." I was like, "No, I don't think so."
That's like HD, DVD, and Blu-ray.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, they're getting petty on Twitter.
Yeah.
How many followers does Blockbuster have?
As many followers as Trump because his dumb ass is everywhere.
Let's see. They have almost 30,000.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. All right, let's move on from that to talking about a trailer that single-handedly made "I Got Five on It" into the creepiest song on the planet.
Planet.
We're talking
about us.
We're talking about us.
I'm talking about us.
Jordan Peele's follow-up to Get Out. What did you guys think of that?
It's a dope trailer.
Dope.
Very good trailer. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of theories and
It
stuff.
was creepy.
Fun.
Yeah, we could dissect a little bit. There was another girl, which I'm assuming is a flashback of the mom, because there was two.
Oh, there was two little girls? Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
thought there was two little girls. There was one in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they're all
And there was-
doppelgangers.
They're all doubles.
Yeah, they're all
No, fool. I mean, two actresses.
Oh, okay,
With,
I didn't know
with
that.
doppelgangers.
Okay.
But
Okay.
there was the mom, then the daughter, and then there was another little girl in the car who had a doppelganger. So I assume that was like a flashback of the mom.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But I didn't see that. You're going to have to point that out to me.
And then the little kid with the burnt mouth.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's so good.
Yeah.
Like, what else? Jordan Peele is
Yeah.
so good at like layers upon layers
Yeah.
of a film.
Do you guys think that, though, is this like going to be directly connected to
Get Out?
Get Out?
No, he specifically said it has nothing. There's no racial thing in it, like Get Out was. Get Out.
So we don't think those
So
people.
it's not in the racism extended universe.
No.
so we're those the family aren't like
Which
black-
is the universe we live in. I'm sorry.
the family that's like
Yeah.
cool or whatever.
The normal family.
The normal family. They don't have the white people brains.
No.
Okay.
No. It's not connected to that.
Okay, because like one thing I noticed in the trailer was like in the beginning when she was telling
She was snapping off beat.
she was snapping off
Yeah.
beat. She was
That
like,
shit
get
made me
on
mad.
beat, and she
Yeah,
was
yeah.
off beat. So I was like,
I read that theory, right? That supposedly the theory is that the family you see at the beginning, it's the doppelganger family and not like the real family.
okay.
Yeah, that's the theory.
She was hella off beat.
Yeah, she
Like,
was.
she was like, get on beat. She
That
was
had to be
like-
intentional. I was like, they just had to be intentional.
Yeah.
Because too many people noticed that and it's like, Lupita Nyong'o has rhythm. You know what I mean? Like,
I like the way you say Lupita Nyong'o.
And then the other thing I saw them like talking about.
don't freeze. Sorry, go on.
The other thing I saw that they were like talking about on tweets was like the rabbits.
Okay, yeah.
Kept talking about the rabbit, like because the little girl had a rabbit on her
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then there was like a flash of some
Yeah.
rabbits in the cages.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
I wonder what the symbolism there is. That's what I'm very curious about. And the symbolism of the scissors specifically.
Yeah.
Because there were some people like theorizing like, oh, like she has like shackles that are gold. And they started kind of, people started posting photos of like, oh, sometimes like they would decorate slaves with like gold chains and stuff like that. And people were like, no, it has nothing to do with, there's no racism thing going on. But, you know, there's a lot of theories just off of what we saw.
Couldn't it be about cloning? Like a whole like foreshadowing into the next foray into
Like genetic editing and stuff like
it
that.
could be like something like that's what because that's typically what they test rabbits with.
Yeah.
Things
Oh,
of that
yeah.
nature. So that could be one.
It's funny. It's funny you said that.
Rabbits.
Go ahead.
I just read an article today where Bill Gates is saying that nobody's paying attention to gene editing, and that's going to be like the next big sort of thing that happens in the next like 15, 20 years, which
I promise you, we're gonna be living a lifetime and like Tupac's gonna be replicated,
right.
and it's gonna
I
be
don't wanna
like
be in that.
Or in Batman Beyond, where
I'm
people
totally-
are splicing.
I don't want that.
Just having
that's
like
just crazy. Like
snake
somebody's gonna be
faces.
replicated.
Something's gonna go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Something's gonna be.
By the way,
Something's gonna drop it.
I just saw Sorry to Bother You, and that movie is fucking weird at the end. I don't know
gotta
if
watch
you
it.
guys
It's
saw
on
it.
Hulu. It's on Hulu.
You
Sorry to
guys
Bother
got to
You.
see it.
With
Oh.
Boots Riley, the
Yeah.
one with Lakeem Stanfield.
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, I saw that too. I just watched it. That
Yeah.
movie was.
You guys got to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it?
I'm gonna watch it.
I didn't-
I
Did you
liked
like?
it. I
did-
liked
Dave,
It's
did you-
cool, but it's weird.
Did you like? You liked it?
I liked it for what it was. It kind of came out of left field, but you kind of accept it because the weirdness is already sort of established at the beginning.
I thought certain parts were funny, but
like
I was just
dating
like,
me.
what the hell is going on?
Yeah. What else do we? I mean, what else? Anything about this trailer? I mean, let's talk about the use of "I Got Five on It." I mean,
Brilliant.
classic
Yeah,
song.
amazing.
I feel like it was an inherently creepy song that he felt like he found
Yeah.
something out of and
Dun,
cultivated
dun,
it.
Dun, dun.
And
I love that.
I would like to hear what other rap songs sound creepy when you slow
Who's
them
that
down.
creeping through my window? Black Goody Mob. Nobody
Possibly.
That
down.
would be a good one, yeah.
That shit.
A lot of G-funk shit could sound
Anything
creepy.
on DMX's Dark and Hell is
Oh,
Hot.
of course.
Put that on there.
I mean,
Floyd.
that
But
already
he
sounds
wanted
creepy.
that to be creepy.
Yeah,
I got
like-
5 on it. Just had this like
Yeah, just- it
clap
was just
to
like,
it that was very
Like,
it was.
I never
eerie.
would have
They-
thought of it as
yeah.
like that.
I mean, he just isolated that bass line, just doo-doo, doo,
Yeah.
and it's just like, yeah, it sounds fucking creepy. Yeah. I feel like any G-funk stuff could sound creepy if you just isolate certain things on there.
Not regulators.
Maybe two.
Actually, regulators could probably sound creepy.
If you isolate that.
It's taking a weird turn. Taking a weird
No, but you
turn.
know what I like though? I like that it's I feel like a lot of trailers, and I really hope. I mean, as we know,
Julian's
that I got
looking at
5.
this Blockbuster account for some reason. Like this nigga's about to subscribe.
I don't know. I was trying to get out of it. So I was blocking my phone.
Is it in the App Store? I'm curious. Is it in the App Store?
No, man.
I feel like it's one movie on there.
Not in the App Store. Proceed.
on
Where we at?
VHS.
$15.99 a month, and you can watch a movie a month. You gotta bring it back. Sorry.
I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. I mean, we know that I Got 5 on It is actually in the movie. It's not just a song that they picked for the trailer, which I think is great. But I wonder what the significance is gonna be of that song within the context of the movie.
I don't know if it has. I think he just picked something dope. Like,
I mean,
I feel like Jordan Peele has a lot of situations where he has good taste,
Mhm.
but I think people in general, I don't want to say give him too much credit because that's not the right phrase, but they dig too deep, and he's just like, this shit was dope.
Well,
Like,
that's what some people were making fun of, people like having all these crazy theories about this movie when he was specifically like, oh, it has nothing to do with racism, and it says everyone else is like, the boy with the burnt mouth represents the unspoken voice of the black man in America.
Of course.
But that's the thing. Even if you make
Ted
it
from Nebraska 60 minutes ago.
From Nebraska.
he saw the trailer on Blockbuster Live. I feel. I mean, you could not make a racism-based movie when you have a family of black people. There's going to be racial concepts.
You know what I was actually thinking about this? Like, I really hope that he doesn't fall into this trap that M. Night Shyamalan fell into, where every movie after The Sixth Sense had to have a twist,
Yeah.
and everybody was seeing it coming. I don't want him to fall into a trap where like every movie that he does since Get Out has to do with racism in America. I understand that social issues are important to put in his movies, but I feel like not every movie is gonna have this crazy twist of like.
Honestly,
yeah.
I'm going to give him the credit that I don't think that's about to happen because I think
I don't think so. I don't think for this
I
one.
think
it's-
what he's going to be doing. Am I going to have to separate you two?
We're gonna start
makes
flashing
so
the
much
lights on and
sense.
off.
Wait, what was
so
it?
much sense. That makes
I'm sorry. I actually like tapped on the Blockbuster.com thing, and it sent me to Dish Network. So their streaming service
part of it was
is on Dish. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's
Enough.
funny.
Go ahead.
I think what's about to happen is we're going to start getting these films
Mhm.
that are more so genre exploring
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's what that was the new ground that Get Out and all these things were able to do, where
Mhm.
they were able to provide something that was like, oh, it's about to be a black film, and then they're like, nah,
Mm-mm.
bruh, like
Yeah.
there's more to it.
Yeah.
And I think that it's gonna be the same with this. I feel like it could be, like I see this going sci-fi.
Yeah.
It could be
Aliens.
It could be
that would be
aliens.
dope. That
it
would be dope.
It could be a whole different universe where
Mhm.
like everyone's born with a doppelganger,
Yeah.
and then everyone's a twin, and
Yeah.
they hide one or they
Yeah.
kill one, or
Yeah.
there's
that's
gonna
dope.
there's so many ways this can go,
Yeah.
and I really trust in Jordan Peele
Yeah.
Yeah.
to do something that's not predictable
Yeah.
in the filmmaking, not
Mhm.
in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
I
get what
think-
you're saying.
And that's what I like about him. Like now, after the success Get Out had, like at the box office and at awards, like now he's reached the level where like, oh, a Jordan Peele movie is coming out, and like immediately you don't even have to see a trailer because you saw the excitement people had when they announced, oh, it's named Us. It has Winston Duke and Lupita Nyong'o. Like everybody was like, that's dope.
Yeah.
You know, he's reached that level where we want to see it. You know, cool. We're excited for that.
Next up.
News of Game of Thrones. I guess
Give us the fucking trailer.
That's it.
so.
Period.
According to this article,
We were
this
talking to David. I was like, you're
this-
fucking rude.
No.
the CEO of HBO has seen Game of Thrones, and they say
I would
that
hope so.
each episode feels like a movie.
Hey, HBO.
I hope it's still recording.
Oh, it's not. All right, hey,
Look at
HBO. Give us the fucking trailer. Stop giving us these little bitty
Yeah.
scenes.
Fucking Daenerys' ankle.
Yeah.
Never
a
mind.
dragon wing.
Give us the fucking trailer.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
But you know,
Did
I'm-
it show?
Yeah, we're not gonna listen to anything a CEO says because how many times the CEO's lied to us about how many.
Not
how
only
many
that, but
times
I
movies are
just give us the
groundbreaking. Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
trailer.
Yeah. I really want to see it.
Yeah,
But the HBO clip thing showed
a little bit.
Daenerys and Winterfell.
Daenerys and
I want a full.
Listen, bitch.
trailer.
I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to talk about
I
something.
agree. What was after that one?
Moving
Fuck
on.
y'all.
Disneyland is raising prices again in 2019. ahead of
Next.
Galaxy's
This is
Edge.
Jason
Some
topic.
Jason David stuff.
That just means Jason's paying more money for his annual pass.
Disneyland. Do you see me flinching? Not flinching.
He's like,
But
Your threshold is 200 with me.
I go to Disneyland every 5 years. Like,
Your threshold is 200 with me. I go to Disney every.
I mean, look.
I'm going Thursday.
Yeah,
I'm
we
going-
want to
I'm
go.
going Thursday.
I mean, we somehow have to go for this opening of Galaxy's Edge because we're not,
I'm already
as
in
regular people, we're not going to be able to go for like another 7 years.
that. I'm already in that. Don't even trip.
Yeah,
There's.
we got to make that happen.
Oh, it's already happened.
let's make that happen.
All right, moving on
already
from
in.
that.
No,
Um,
let's make it.
No.
There was footage of the Ant-Man and the Wasp ride at Disneyland Hong Kong that came out.
I didn't click that.
So
Definitely did not.
it shows. So I know you
I'll
guys.
be
didn't
honest. I
click
didn't get that far down either. I just looked.
I looked at it. I looked
at it. I was like-
I looked at the fuck out of that, but I just
How was
didn't
it though?
So okay, so the
I'm
thing I found interesting about it was that so this is set in the Marvel land that's already exists in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
and their only ride that they had was the Iron Man ride, and I guess for this one this is going to be the second ride they have. And what I found interesting was that they said that the storyline that we see in the Iron Man ride continues into the Ant-Man and the Wasp ride.
Oh, that's
So
kinda dope.
what it looks like, and I guess it gives a hint to what we're gonna expect here in Disneyland, that all the rides and things that
Oh, it'll
happen
be like
are
a cinematic ride
it's
universe.
gonna be a cinematic ride universe, yeah.
Ride universe, like the movies. I
Yeah.
get it.
So you know,
Julian's pumped.
yeah.
So,
So the only one we have here in LA is the Guardians
Guardian.
one. So who knows what we saw in that ride will continue on.
It's a good
to
ride.
They
Yeah.
can because it's video.
ride.
It's video, so they can put whatever they want.
They can film it, yeah. And they showed like Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly actually filming stuff for that ride.
what was there ever a Honey I Shrunk the Kids ride?
Yeah,
somewhere?
Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. That was where Captain EO was.
Where was that?
Remember?
It was at
Okay, so
Tomorrowland.
it was
Okay. I
where
was like,
Captain right by.
I remember.
It was
Space
like- it was
Mountain.
like a show.
It's right by Space Mountain because remember when Michael Jackson got that first case and they took it out, they yanked that shit
They
out
did.
quick fast.
They
They
did.
were like, "Whoop, we
They
got
brought it back when
here.
they brought it back
I
when he
remember
died.
there was a little like there were mice that would come on the thing and they would blow air by your ankles.
Yeah.
And make it feel like
Okay,
the
yeah.
shit
I
coming
felt
around.
like I imagined that.
Yeah.
Like
No,
the
no,
dog
no,
that didn't
sneezed
really
and
happen.
then they shot
Yeah.
water.
Then that shit turned out to be people got tired of that and it got weak and then Mike kicked the can and then
They brought it
put
back.
Captain
They
EO
brought back
back.
Captain
Yeah.
So this ride, the footage that they showed, it looks sort of like the Buzz Lightyear ride. So there's like it's a moving thing.
Blasters?
There's blasters, yeah, because you're supposed to help. I think you like help Shield, kind of defeat these like you get shrunk down, and then you defeat these like
That's cool.
Hydra things or something.
I'm with it.
Yeah, but this is in Hong Kong, so who knows what?
Oh, I'm never gonna see it.
Yeah, probably never.
Maybe
see
I
it.
might. I can't say never, but I might go to
You never
Hong Kong
know.
Disney.
Yeah. All right, moving on from
I need
that.
a tour though. I'm about to sit in 4-hour line.
This one actually happened over the break, but there was announced that Disney is doing a Pirates of the Caribbean reboot without Johnny Depp.
Don't care.
Which I think they're shooting themselves in the foot.
I feel like
I've been done with Pirates of the Caribbean since
Yeah,
the third
I think
one.
we're all
Um,
done with Pirates. I
certain
think we should
things
have.
you gotta let go.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
should. I think we should have buried the entire franchise.
Yeah, I don't think they
the
should do a
last one.
reboot. I think it's kind of
Yeah.
silly. We have already all the movies.
They just
Yeah.
need to stop
Yeah,
doing
you need
it.
to
altogether.
relax.
I was
I
over
still-
after 3.
Yeah.
But to be fair, if they were to build it around a different person with a different story and different hot actor, no,
No, I'm cool.
All right, cool.
We're good, man. We've seen the Pirates' life. We've
I'm good.
mind.
Next up, we were talking about Into the Spider-Verse earlier, but it was announced that Sony is looking into the possibility of giving those characters that we see their own series, their own animated series. So like Spider-Gwen, Spider-Ham,
I can see
Spider-Man.
Spider-Ham
on-
getting
on-
his own
On what
thing.
though?
Probably on the Marvel. Oh no.
On the Marvel streaming service.
No, it's not.
I don't even said on what, but they said that they're exploring that possibility. You know.
Because Haley Steinfeld's gonna get busier and busier, so she's not
Yeah.
gonna be able to be Spider.
I could see it being Spider-Pig though.
Yeah, John Mulaney here.
Yeah.
Or
Or
even
seems-
the
Noir.
seems generally free.
Spider-Man Noir
Y-
with Nick Cage.
Yeah, or I don't remember what the
Oh, the anime one.
The anime
I
one
forget
was.
her name.
but yeah, her too.
Yeah. What else? We talked about the Golden Globes win that Spider-Verse got. Rami Malek won for best
Yep,
actor,
as he
which
should
is
have,
great.
as he should have.
Hold on. A lot of people don't know this. On our Christmas Eve.
Oh, really?
That's
So,
dope.
Okay, that's
it's
amazing.
January 6th is Christmas Eve. January 7th is Christmas. So he won on our Christmas Eve. People,
That's amazing.
Which is funny because Bohemian Rhapsody is not like a church
Yeah.
backed film by any means.
Right.
But everybody was so excited, and
Yeah.
he fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Made
That's
everybody
dope,
proud.
man.
That's really good.
If you haven't got a chance to go see it, like whenever it
Good
comes
movie.
out, like get it.
Yeah.
Watch it, man.
And it's nice to see somebody like that win who's humble, and even his speech and everything was.
His
very
speech was good, yeah.
grounded, and
Yeah.
I feel like he's genuinely just excited to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I think if they would have given it to anybody else, it would have been like pure robbery.
Yeah,
Like he
for
was
sure.
like, yeah. Cool. Any other thoughts and notes?
I think this is
Any
dope. And
Shout
we're-
outs? Anybody? You got some shout
Any
outs?
shout outs? Anything you guys
Shout-outs.
are working on?
Yeah.
Anything you
Oh.
want to plug?
Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, Sideshow Collectibles. The team over at Sideshow Collectibles, Andy and everybody.
from this angle.
Like an ostrich.
Hostage. Like you're reading a ransom letter.
I got to thank them.
Sideshow Collectibles is treating us real good and shit.
They feeding us.
I want to shout out to Raider and them.
Yeah, no. Sideshow
War
Collectibles.
show? No,
Shout out to these dudes. This is our first time on camera. We've
Oh,
been-
yeah.
And I really hope
Hey.
everything
Yeah.
filmed. So,
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We're learning with
Yeah.
you guys, and hopefully you enjoy
Any-
it.
but keep
Right.
listening to us in 2019.
Anybody else?
I got nothing else to say.
None?
No. What are you gonna say?
For people that go and read comic books, the new Young Justice book comes out tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, shout out Matthew Bordenave, one of our most recent guests. He did some art on Young
Yes.
Justice on
we
the
didn't
DC,
talk about the
on
first
the
episodes of
on the DC
Get
streaming
back to it.
service.
We'll say.
Yeah.
Let's save
But
it.
we'll give you a full Young Justice for Julian and Yusef.
Julian.
We'll give you a
Julian,
full
Julian.
Young Justice review once it.
Yo, we didn't. I was just thinking about our guests. I was gonna say Stilo owes us a Chick-fil-A because he said
Oh
that
yeah.
he said that Aquaman was barely gonna make 20.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
he-
yeah.
And Aquaman's like about to
Hella
hit
wrong.
$1 billion.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Do I get in on this Chick-fil-A?
No.
I'm
No,
not
you were
sure.
absent.
We'll talk to our lawyers.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll try to get one.
Wow.
But yeah, Stilo owes us some Chick-fil-A.
Nuggets.
Wow.
Yeah.
But no, because I didn't get to finish talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
Young Justice book, Brian
Yeah.
Michael Bendis, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I love the Young. I used to love the Young
Yeah.
Justice comic book. They're finally
That's
bringing it
the-
back.
You know what I was thinking? I know you're. I mean, we might put this in, but we're so close to the Golden Apple
Mhm.
comic shop. I feel like we need to do we should do a segment that we can always do separate,
Oh,
like
yeah,
where
yeah.
you kind of pick out those
What's
books of that
coming out.
Oh,
of
yeah,
that
that's a
week,
great
That's
and
a
then
good
we
idea.
do
that.
and we can kind of have like a little bonus segment.
And I could just
you know?
bring in the books that I'm.
Yeah,
actually-
pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
That's cool.
I feel like that's dope because that might make me start reading again.
Mhm.
If you start picking,
If you're
them
like
out,
start
and then I'm
curating
like,
them and stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
these are the ones I'm reading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good. Okay.
Cool.
Great
All right,
idea.
listeners. Thanks again. I am David. You can find me again at David Gallardo.
Yusef at YGLA.
I'm not sure if whatever's filming, but hey, Julian Edwards on everything,
I'm at Jason on Instagram.
and he is not a hostage.
He said that on his own free will.
All right. Cool.
Shut up.